All right, what's up, everybody? The Jaguars have finally announced their official 53-man roster that will be winning Super Bowl 58. I don't know that much, but I do know that this part of the roster, the offense, will be scoring at least 28 points a game. It's just going to be, it's going to be, I'm not going to say greatest show on turf, greatest show on real grass. We have quarterbacks, and got to emphasize that this is in no particular order because it's funny. You glance at this and you're like, whoa, Beathard over Trevor, but no, it's all in alphabetical order. Trevor and obviously Beathard beats out Nathan Rourke, who was a favorite of mine as well. Running backs, a notable exit is Snoop Connor. And if you were to ask me, obviously, and probably a handful of fans or all of the fans who they wish was the four running backs that would remain, it would be this group. Jermichael Hasty showed some flashes last year, and Dearness Johnson, he showed a lot of flashes when he had to play the starting role in Cleveland and when he filled in for us in the preseason this year. And Tank Bigsby, obviously, he's averaged like nearing 5 yards a carry, over 20 carries in the preseason, over 150 yards, maybe like 180 or something. And then Etienne, obviously. Wide receivers is Agnew, Elijah Cooks, Tim Jones, Zay Jones, Christian Kirk, Calvin Ridley, Parker Washington. So we are going with 7 receivers. It was a big storyline. Oh my God, I have hair in my mouth. I'm so sorry. I didn't get the hair, and I kind, when you have hair in your mouth and you try to get it, but you just lost it, and just hope that you don't swallow it. Okay, that might come up later. Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk, obviously in the slot, and then Zay Jones. So those are your starting 3. And Parker Washington you just drafted, so he's 4. And then you have Jamal Agnew, obviously he's 5. So the big conversation this week was who's going to be 6, and fans were kind of up in arms. Like it was a tight debate. Like we're pretty deep at receiver. Like when was the last time you could say that? You have all these receivers that were showing flashes in the preseason. They ended up, I'm assuming that Tim Jones is their 6, and then Elijah Cooks, they said let's carry 7 because if we waive him, we don't think we're going to get him on the practice squad. So they kept Tim Jones and Elijah Cooks, and opted for 7 receivers. And what that did was that made them only have 3 tight ends. Which is interesting because they're going to get a lot of playing time, all 3 of them, and there's likely to be injuries. So I assume something will be done, and it might be in this area to make room throughout the season, at some point in the season, for another tight end signing. Offensive linemen. Now these guys, but it's strange because if they, no pun intended, if they all stay healthy all year, can just 3 tight ends carry the weight? I'm sure they could. That's why they did it. But if you're looking at it, you only have one real that we know of so far. Brenton Strange could be a great passing threat. We just don't know for sure. What we know for sure from this group is that Evan Ingram is the move tight end, the tight end that can go out and run every route tree and catch some balls. These are obviously very strong blocking tight ends. Also, offensive linemen Ben Bartch, Luke Fortner, Anton Harrison, Cooper Hodges, Walker Little, Brandon Sheriff, Tyler Shatley, Cole Van Lennon. I'm going to be honest with you. I know this channel is, if you are a subscriber and you followed our content, it's mainly entertainment. We aren't X's and O's guys. And I will also admit when I don't know something. Don't come here for like breakdowns that are like super serious. So when I tell you that I'm not sure I've ever heard the name Cole Van Lannon, it's not because I'm not like doing my job for this channel. It's just that I'm being honest with you. And I don't pay enough attention to know who Cole Van Lannon is. So sorry. I do know that Cooper Hodges is injured, and I pulled up a tweet here from John Shipley. Here it is. The Jaguars have released offensive line Blake Hance, who some people liked, bringing them to 53-man roster. I would imagine this is a wink and a nod release, re-signing like Adam Gossis was last year. Since Hance has more than 4 years in the NFL, he can't be claimed. That's very interesting. That's right. He can choose whatever team he wants. He can literally just wait until they make room tomorrow, Hodges to IR, and be added back to the roster with zero risk of losing him. Cool. Oh, I'm going to play that in a second. So that's your offensive line. Let's go to the defense. Cornerbacks, Christian Broswell, see, gonna be honest again, this name isn't ringing a bell. Tyson Campbell, Chris Claybrooks, Trey Herndon, Gregory Jr. This battle, Herndon and Jr., might be going on all season, but I'm assuming Herndon is keeping his role. I don't think that was Darius Williams. So it's going to be Tyson Campbell opposite Darius Williams, Trey Herndon in the slot. Linebackers, you have Yasir Abdullah, the rookie, and then Josh Allen, Kayvon Chason, Caleb Johnson, Devin Lloyd, Chad Muma, Luakon, Shaq Quarterman, Trayvon Walker. Obviously, a lot of edge guys in here as well. Safeties, Andre Sisco, Rayshawn Jenkins, Antonio Johnson, who I thought was hurt. I think he's battling an injury. Daniel Thomas, Andrew Wingard, the heart and soul of the team. Devon Hamilton on the interior line, who is battling a strange back injury that is like undisclosed, not football related. They're not talking about it, but I think he's healthy or showing great signs of improvement and will be back apparently this week sometime. Foley Fatukasi, Adam Gotsis, who I really like as a plug-and-play player. You know, when you have injuries on the line, he's a good space eater. Tyler Lacey, don't know about him. Jeremiah Ledbetter, who really flashed in the preseason. To my surprise, he's like almost my age and has been in the league for many years. Not many, but like 6 or 7. Started on the Cardinals, I think. And Roy Robertson Harris. And then obviously your special teams. This is the roster that who's going to be left when we're in the Super Bowl, you know, because injuries and whatnot. Maybe a trade happens, but this is going to be the high-powered offense. I can't wait. I think we're going to absolutely do numbers this year. I'm definitely not alone in that. Here is Mia O'Brien interviewing Zay Jones about Elijah Cooks making the 53-man roster. Let's see what Zay said.
This morning, and Elijah Cooks is still in that wide receiver room.
He greeted me with a smile, and I was really happy for him. He's a young guy with a lot of energy, a lot of excitement, his humor, but he's earned it as well. I think when you turn on the tape through training camp, through the preseason games, the guy was always making plays. Big body, he's fast, he's strong, can go up and high point the football. It's just really awesome to see a guy like that come in here, I believe from San Jose State, if I'm not mistaken, to come in here and completely different element and just ingrain himself into the system and make plays. I mean, your hat goes off to a person like that, and I think he's going to be a great talent in the years to come for sure.
When did this wide receiver room realize what they had in Elijah?
For me, honestly, I can't say I saw it in the spring. It's hard because you're not like competing with the pads and doing things. I think it's when he started to make plays in one-on-ones. He made a really good catch over someone, I forget, and then he kind of pumped up the crowd after. You could see he had a sense of confidence.
So I just looked up one of Elijah Cook's best plays of the preseason, and this was just so electric. Look at this. Of course, I'm going to get a copyright strike now for – wait, there's no audio? I really want to hear audio. Oh, well. So Elijah Cooks, he's huge. A lot of our receivers in the back end of the roster are pretty big. But just look at this play. Shirt comes off. That stiff arm is nasty. Yeah, that's pretty disgusting. That's awesome. And then one of the reasons why fans were clamoring for him to make the roster is because you look at this, and this is the receivers of the Jaguars from the preseason, and he is ranked pretty high up there. What is that? Who's scoring that? Can't tell you, but it's on Twitter, and it's in a nice graphic, so I believe it. Who is this? Okay, Pro Football Focus. Figured. So what I wanted to say and conclude with is that this Super Bowl offense, unfortunately, this is to be determined. And I've been on record and am sticking by it. We're not getting through, and I hate to end this video on a bummer, but in my opinion, we're not making it past Mahomes, Burrow. I'm not gonna say Allen because we beat him with Urban Meyer and company, and I just don't think we're making in like the Jets, Aaron Rodgers, or maybe that offensive line is vulnerable enough to make some noise with what we have. But in January, pass rush is just so important. We saw it last year versus the Chiefs in the playoffs. Pass rush is just so important. You can't let the quarterback just sit back there. And I don't see this group rushing the passer enough to get us to the Super Bowl, unfortunately. Which is why I've been like, trade for Aaron Donald, sign Yannick Ngakoue again. There were some pass rushers that could have filled the role that we needed. And then there's what was his name? Oh yeah, Daniil Hunter. When those trade rumors were, I was so excited. I was like, because he followed the Jaguars on Instagram, and that just never comes to fruition, unfortunately. So yeah, I don't know how, but I'm maybe we're just completely shocked. I remember going into the 2017 season. I was so confident that I even made a sign and brought it to the stadium. That team, like, we're really running it back with Blake Bortles again, and we draft Leonard Fournette thinking this is going to make the difference, and then we go on to have this very productive offensive season to complement the 2017 defense. So I've been surprised before, and I hope that trusting, Doug and Balky, hopefully it pays off. Hopefully we're like, oh my God, look at all this pass rush that we're generating. I hope that's the case, because if that's the case, the sky is the limit. This team is going places. So what do you think about the roster? Did they cut anyone that broke your heart? Let me know in the comments. Other than that, talk to you guys soon. See ya.